So let's go ahead and do
MPL
alphabetical
Season
order with
18
this one.
Team Tier List.
Okay, this is the new and question mark improved AP Bren. And I know you guys have like really, really strong opinions with this team. This lineup, we got Lord JM, we got Shizu. I feel like James is, I hate to say it, pero it's a really strong um, argument yung sinasabi ng mga tao na medyo James Banks and friend siya, because honestly, like, that's what it feels like. For me, the longest time I've wanted James Banks to have a better support structure. I really wish Shizu steps up more, because in a lot of games, no, na James Banks was strong. It feels like Shizu could have done better. I just have that feeling in me. And James Banks is, especially right now, it feels like James Banks should really be able to shine. I'm sure Escalera is really good in holding down team fights before. I'm not sure if that's gonna be applicable now, just because of how drastic the change in the meta is. So for me, I will definitely be able to place EP Brian at around C tier. Um Honestly, it's a pretty drastic change. This feels like everyone's got slapped on a new team. That's what it feels like to me. And it might actually take them more than, I don't know if one season's enough to actually mesh together, to gel together properly. So C tier for me. I don't wanna be too harsh and say they're D tier. Pero C is like the highest I can probably place them. I don't know if you guys agree. Um Coach Pitoy from MPL SG runner up, you think? I mean, hindi mo kasi ang hirap sabihin just because Coach Pitoy went in, they can change it drastically. I've seen many coaches come from top tier teams and go to a different team and the results are completely different. So I actually don't think just adding a coach in is enough. Like a really good coach in is enough to actually turn a team completely 180. You know what I mean? Yeah. Next. Who's next on our list here? If we're going alphabetical, the next alphabetically is F, which stands for Falcons. Now, for Falcons, they didn't change much. And some people will definitely not like that. I'm gonna be very straight with you guys. Some people will probably not like it. But in general, from my experience in MPL Philippines for the longest time, more often than not, if a team retains a lineup, they retain it for a good reason. Even if the team didn't have like a really good performance previously. It was not the perfect performance, but in my opinion, Team Falcons actually had like really, really good performance. Definitely, if we started playoffs right now, I would say they're still very strong um semi-finalist agad no. So despite not winning the international, we saw their performance in MSC. They didn't go as far as we wanted, but I still believe that retaining this lineup and letting it mature is actually the correct thing to do. That's the correct thing to do. And I really like Falcons for that. And because of that, I will definitely place them a lot higher. Definitely placing them on A tier. I'm not super sold on S tier yet. Maybe after week 1, masold ako ng S tier. Pero for now, it feels like Falcons is gonna be A tier for me for now. Okay lang yun. And I think there's a lot of room to go up from this position, no? So, honestly, this feels absolutely good for me. Next team alphabetically is O. Isa lang naman ang O natin. And of course, that team is the Barangay. Although I'm not sure if it's necessarily the Barangay that you know, because I feel like yung identity nila also changed up quite a bit with their additions. No? So, let's go ahead and open up Omega. So what can you say about Omega? I feel like keeping Minguin on is definitely the right call. I feel like one season is not really enough to see how well Minguin can keep a team together. So for me, it feels like Minguin is still gonna be able to, he's been in this position before. He's had to kind of semi rebuild the team. A lot of really familiar faces here. We got Ryzen still, we got Perks, and the new guys obviously can. We've seen them perform already. So I feel like Smart Omega, they're gonna face the same challenges they've had so many times. If you've been watching MPL Philippines for a long time, Smart Omega has had to deal with changes almost every other season. I've never really seen a Smart Omega lineup last for a long time. And that might be one of some people would argue that's one of the reasons why they're having a hard time showing consistent performances. Pero for me, it's wala din eh. You don't really have a choice. You kind of have to stick with that. You kind of have to do that, right? Like if Smart Debugger feels like their lineup's not working, they have to change it up. But for me, this change is actually, I feel like, for the better. So all said and done, I will actually have to play Smart Omega close to B. I feel like I have a lot of faith in the mechanics of these individual players. Yung team togetherness nila, dun tayo magkakaalaman. Kasi, again, depende. Minsan kasi may mga team na kabado simula ng season. May mga teams na, especially pag bagong buo, di ba? Especially if they're like very, very new. B tier feels like relatively safe for me for Sport Omega. I like the changes. I have a lot of trust in Minguin and the team. Ryzen has always been like a standout player. Maybe this is the lineup that can actually enable that. So since we're already alphabetical anyway, let's go ahead and choose the next contender here. And that is, of course, Onyx. Now, bro, Onyx Philippines. I'm not gonna lie, this team, it feels like they made some of the, I would say, more streamlined changes, no? Hindi sobrang drastic. I feel like tamang-tama lang na timpla. Adding few in with Hayes that's so much experience in one team, honestly. And they actually have players that I feel like can capitalize on that. They have a lot of players that can capitalize on that experience. They seem like a very teachable team. Their communication obviously is very top tier. Very similar to the World Championship winning lineup. We're almost exactly the same, right? And Savero, I feel like napatunayan niya nung season 17 that he was so underrated. Obviously, medyo may konting dapa lang sa dulo, pero I feel like Onyx Philippines is still one of the best teams that actually, crafted a lineup. And not to mention, this is what I like to call the King Kong meta. This is what I like to call the King Kong meta. I feel like there's just so many heroes that are open to King Kong right now, and I know from experience that this set of players has a very, very high chance of making it work. And because of that, I'm definitely placing them S tier. This is one of the best team comps I think we have so far. Obviously, I don't know about their scrims. They're basing it on like from memory from the previous team performance, adding in a veteran mind in the mix. S tier, man, love that. All right, so who's next on the list here? Yes. Now this is hot. This is obviously they're always a team that's very ano ba? They're very polarizing. They have so many fans and at the same time just so many people who'd like to put them down. They're obviously Aurora Gaming Philippines. Feels like they have a pretty good chance of redemption here. Um, Gee, I wonder why, right? Honestly, ang daming criticism towards Aurora that really felt like it could have been, it's kind of justified. Now with the changes they have, they retained Yue, they still have Light and Doming. Nats is like the biggest change for me. Like if you're talking about if you're finding a replacement for players like Edward, Nats is like, bro, you're super duper stonks. I feel like they definitely hit the jackpot in that role. Now everyone else, you know, with Yegs and Coil, by the way, you know, I kind of feel like Coil could have gone higher in MSC. So I am actually excited. And a lot of people would say Coil is a big upgrade. I don't know if you guys agree, but I kind of, based on just performance in MSC alone, and as well as watching performances in Cambodia, Coil is solid. Ever since Coil started in TNC, right? Like when he made his TNC debut, you knew there was something really special about Coil, and I am so excited to watch Aurora play in season 18. For me, this team change is definitely A tier. If we're talking about like power levels, definitely A tier. But if in terms of team changes, I feel like it could actually be S tier, honestly. Like in terms of how impactful the changes could be, I feel like this is gonna be pretty S tier. Pero I'll rank it maybe high A. Yeah, in terms of overall power levels. Huh. All right. Again, another team that's extremely controversial, but you know, for a good reason. I feel like a lot of people really expected them to at least make grand finals in MSC, and they fell short for a lot of different reasons. And I feel like TLPH is one of those teams that we've seen this before. Ika nga nila in Tagalog. Napanood ko na to eh. Napanood ko na to. Um, let's see. In terms of the meta shift, the biggest question in everyone's mind was why was TLPH not able to adapt that well to the meta? I think for me might have just been like decision making on MSC itself. And of course yung shortened really short preparation time, and in terms of like how long they were given to adapt to the meta, I feel like that really impacted TLPH. Pero coming into a tournament like this, mahaba ang pahinga, mahaba ang preparation time, nothing too major in the patch. I feel like TLPH has a really strong lineup, and they have a very good reason to actually just retain this lineup. I think this is still a world championship winning team in my opinion. So honestly, there's just a lot more ground to cover for TLPH, maybe in terms of researching, maybe in terms of just preparation overall. But if you give TLPH good time to prepare, if you give them enough time to prepare, they're a very good team. They eat other teams for breakfast. So I still think that TLPH is definitely S tier. 100%, it feels like there's still a lot of room to improve, not just for like coaching, not just for players, for everyone across the board. And I'm excited to see a TLPH that no rebounds after that. Next team is obviously going to be the one below us. Sino una? TNC, right? It's TNC first, not Twisted. I don't know why Twisted is here. So let's talk about TNC Pro Team. This is, a lot of people would say, don't quote me on this, I just read this a lot, Zaida and Friends. Now I feel like that is a little unfair considering the quality of the players individually. Coaching staff, I feel like I have a lot of trust pa rin naman kay Lahito and Itamax. It's just been a challenge, honestly. it feels like a really big challenge to build around him. Jome has been he's had his ups, but he's also had like a lot of downs, and I think a lot of the people are pretty justified in kind of pushing back against this lineup. Pero I think na you know Zaida's still there. I feel like, especially, don't forget Ryota's also like in the mix. Um, we've seen performances from Zen and Vin in MDL. I feel like yung micro is there. Sana lang they have enough to, they had enough prep time. They've had a lot of prep time, right? I just hope they were able to actually maximize that prep time to integrate these two players into the mix. Um, Definitely, it's not gonna be a strong macro team right off the bat. Maybe week one, maybe week two. Uh, might not be as good for them, but I can see them going higher in week 3 and 4. My rankings here for TNC would still be pretty low B, right? That's what is fair for me in my mind. I don't want to put them, I don't want to say TNC top 8 again. That's what you all say in the comment section. TNC top 8 secure. I completely do not agree with that. I feel like TNC could definitely do better. Pero I think they have so much more potential. And the changes here are very drastic, but I feel like the changes to the lineup are very much warranted naman. Now, last and definitely not the least is Twisted Minds. Now, Twisted Minds, obviously we've seen moments where Twisted Minds could probably have done better. Uh, the the previous season was not as good. No, the previous season was not as good. Pero a lot of these players are people who were doubted a lot. Benny Cutie doubted a lot. Even players like ano, diba, Sensui. Like, people after his exceptional performance in Blacklist International, a lot of people still kind of follow him, and they say he's maybe not as good as OG Blacklist, but I feel like he's still very high tier. There's a reason why uh, he was given like the Sensui Instincts moniker. Like, I feel like he's just so good at securing objectives. This lineup for sure with Tracy with a very explosive debut definitely feels like it could be a team that takes the sila yung ano ko yung the perfect middle of the pack team. Now, I don't know how well Benecuti is gonna slot in, pero I know individually Benecuti is such a monster in terms of mechanics, so I feel like if they actually perform, if they actually get a lot of practice, if they have each other's backs, this could be pretty high A or low B. Pero for the meantime, I feel like maybe they'll definitely be higher B, not low A. No, for me, that's pretty high B. Now, that's by ranking. So I don't know if you guys agree with this. There's a lot of teams here that are definitely kumbaga, under construction. There's a lot of teams here that might need a lot more exposure. There's a lot of teams that will need to remove those jitters. I'm not sure if week 1 is going to be a very accurate depiction. Pero let me know your thoughts about this ranking that I have. If you agree, you can make your own rankings. Gumawa ako ng tier maker. Just search MPLPH Season 18 Team Power Rankings. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll see you week 1. Okay, that's for the video. Thanks for hanging out, yung mga tumambay dyan. Sorry, dumire-diretso lang ako. Hindi na ako masyado. Pero yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll post this on Facebook and YouTube. So I don't know if... Sorry. TikTok. Sorry, there you go. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.